FOJ 37. What's up, Jason?
Not much, Jeff. How are you?
I think tired. I mean, I think I kind of sensed it with that little bit of a wind up that you just gave me. You might be as well.
I am. Yeah, I'm tired. It just felt like a long week followed by an even longer weekend. So, and most weekends I have run pretty quickly, but this was a long one for some reason.
You do a lot. I mean, between the baseball and all the stuff that you got going on.
I do a lot. I don't know how much of it is productive, but I do a lot, and sometimes it goes by fast, but I get freaking tired after some of this stuff. And when I sit down, I'm like, whoa. And then I look at all the crap I need to do. It like never ends. But
well, relax. We've made it. It's the end of the week.
Yes.
Or, well, I'm not going to call it the start of the week because Monday's kind of the start of the week, but made it. It's the end of the week. You're amongst friends. I had a very relaxing weekend. My wife went out of town Friday to go visit some friends. So I had the house to myself. And I spent it working, but, it was fine. I had that. And I started binging Mr. Robot, which I started a very long time ago and just got back into it. So I kind of started over again. So I don't know if you've ever seen Mr. Robot. It used to be on USA. I think it was like a long time ago.
No, it's
kind of like a hacking type thing.
No, the only thing close to a Mr. Robot is a Mr. Roboto, which is an 80s hit by Styx. So no, I'm not familiar.
Or Dr. Roboto, who is the bad guy in Sonic the Hedgehog. So that's Robotnik, I should say. Dr. Roboto.
Okay.
Sorry, don't want to piss off the Sonic fans out there.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, so Mr. Robot. All right.
Mr. Robot. Great. I mean, here's what's cool about it is it's a great show. It's one that Rami Malek got started on. And it's kind of like what made his name out there as like an actor.
Okay.
So if you know him, that's kind of how he kind of rose to fame. And he's really good in it. It's a really interesting story about this, hacker who has some mental problems, let's just call it. And I don't want to spoil it because I think it's definitely worth watching. But the actual hacking and the exploits that they do are realistic.
Interesting.
And so it's very much grounded in like, oh shit, like that's how that's done. And, they don't go down to like the code level and stuff like that.
Sure.
But you see a lot of terminals and commands being run and stuff like that. And it's realistic. It's not like sci-fi where it's like, oh, that can't happen. It's like, no, these are like actually real exploits that people could take advantage of. And it reminds me that most of the exploits that I see in my business are still personal. It's social engineering.
Interesting.
And they do a whole lot of social engineering in that. It's still like the way that most companies get breached is probably starts with the social engineering. Either I tricked you into giving me your password or, my password is easy to guess, whatever it may be, but there's a whole lot of that as well. And it's kind of a really interesting show. So highly recommended. And so I was in the total like coding mode all weekend because I was watching that. At the same time, I was what they call vibe coding, using AI to develop an application that I'm going to be using on the side for podcast stuff. And so I was sitting here, running between two different MacBooks and AI and Python code and HTML. And I'm like, okay, let's do this while I had Mr. Robot playing on my iPad next to me. And that's pretty much how I spent Friday night, most of Saturday, and most of today. Till my wife just got home about an hour ago.
Sounds like you were in the zone, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, you were in the zone.
It was relaxing. I took breaks.
Like you're in your
stuff like that. It's like, well, here's the thing. I'm not a developer at all. Like I am not a coder.
Sure.
But I was using AI big time to develop this application. And guess what? It fucking works, dude. So, am I going to win awards for the code? No. But AI is definitely to the point where I can build a Python application, an HTML application with JavaScript, a front end, run a web server, parse data coming from the internet onto my local machine, blah, 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 right? This is all to say is like, again, I am not a developer. I just know what I wanted to do and then just started playing around with, in my case, it was a little bit of Gemini and a little bit of ChatGPT and put together an application over the course of the weekend that is now running on my MacBook over to my right. That is kind of like my server.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool.
All right. So I I'll admit I am behind in the world of AI. I don't know how long it's been around. Like hardcore
forever.
Well, okay, maybe for you, but I mean,
well, so no. So this is an interesting question.
Yeah.
So when did you become aware of AI?
Honest to God, probably within the last 18 months, year to 18 months,
okay.
maybe.
And what was it that there's this AI? Like, what was it that caused that?
Honestly, it was my first exposure to AI. No, you know what? A little further, maybe about a little over 2 years ago. Okay. Now that I think about it, my first exposure was when Jeremy was doing summer school for school, and he was looking up some answer for a question that he had for a class. And he's like, oh, I'll just go to ChatGPT. I'm like, what's ChatGPT? And and I didn't know. And then I was first exposed to ChatGPT at that point. And now I'm convinced that ChatGPT not only got 2 of my boys through college, but probably hundreds of thousands of others through college. When I saw I'm going to call it the power of what it could do, I was amazed. I know it could be considered quote unquote cheating, I guess, but I look at it. I don't look at it necessarily as cheating. I look at it as being resourceful. I mean, if there's something out there that could do something for you that you don't have to necessarily do, I'm good with it. This world has become more of, or less of what you need to know, but more of where do you know where to go find it, I think. And that goes for school, that goes for your job, that just goes for a lot of things, I think, that are in everyday life. So yeah, a little over 2 years ago for AI for me.
Okay. I think that makes sense, because I think so ChatGPT was released to the public on November 30th of 2022.
Okay.
So about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And, at that point, it took a little while. So to hear about 2 years ago makes sense, because it takes a little while for stuff like, okay, it's released now, so what? People start to learn about it and use it and start to figure it out. AI has been around for a long time. And so in my business, cybersecurity, stuff like that, it's been around for a while. But my definition of AI definitely changed when I saw what ChatGPT could do, because it was a different type of AI than we were used to. AI before that was really what we call machine learning. And all it was just pattern recognition.
Sure.
Oh, there's a 0 in this line of ones, and that shouldn't be there. And that's kind of what we kind of thought of. And that's kind of a very simplistic way to look at it. But we would use a lot of that in security to look for anomalous type of things and say, oh, okay, that's different.
This doesn't belong here.
And then, yeah. And that's exactly, and that's what it is. Machine learning is pattern matching, blah, 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 right?
Right.
And then ChatGPT came out, and this whole idea of LLMs, large language models, or sometimes they call like local language models, kind of depends on your definition of it and what you're doing it for. But the idea of being able to say in natural language, give me this thing, or do this thing, or create this thing, and for it to be able to figure that out and infer it from your intention of what you typed, was really a game changer. And so I'm kind of with you. It's like, okay, yeah, AI has always been there, but really the last couple of years has been like, oh, my definition of this has changed, because I see a lot of products that are like, oh, like we have this AI thing, and then it becomes like a marketing thing where it's like, oh, now with 100% more AI. Well, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
Things like that. And so I'm with you. I think 2 years ago, I've been using it quite a bit for the last couple of years. So I've kind of seen it grow, and it's gotten better and cheaper, which is great. So now basically for $20 a month for any of the services, whether it's Gemini from Google or ChatGPT, or Anthropic has one called Claude, or Perplexity, things like that. It's become cheap enough where for $20 a month, any of those services, they all pretty much cost the same. You got a really neat little companion that could do a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't consider it cheating, by the way, because I want to come back to that, because is having a calculator cheating?
Well,
is having an automatic transition cheating?
Exactly.
Like, no.
And that's kind of why I changed you could say Google's cheating, but it's really not, right? Because, that's why I at first was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then I thought about it and started using it along with him and helping him with school and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if this is available to you, why wouldn't you use it if you think about it, right?
Yeah. Now, you do need to know your stuff because it does have a tendency to give incorrect information, especially the longer your conversation goes. It degrades.
Well, plus, I think you need to know what to feed into it in order to know what to get out of it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it helps.
Yeah.
The way I can describe it to people using it first time is like, treat it as if it was like a 7 or 8 year old.
Yeah.
You have to be very explicit with your directions and, complete sentences and try to think of everything that, a young person would ask questions about and accept that it might make mistakes.
Sure.
And then, kind of work with it through that same stuff.
So
what's more important is knowing your content. Like if you ask it for facts, it can give you incorrect facts. Like it's like, what's 2 + 2? Well, everybody knows it's 4.
Right.
It may say 5.
Okay.
Or 3 because it's not smart. It's regurgitating what it thinks to be the truth.
Okay. So my second exposure to hardcore AI was a couple of months ago. We did a training at work actually on extracting, because I'm in food distribution, right? So we did a thing where we used. Hey,
we're all in food distribution, baby.
I know. So
distributing these Doritos into my mouth.
More often than I'd like to admit. Anyway, so it was basically looking at a restaurant's menu and plugging that into ChatGPT to pull out any ingredient that restaurant used that I could go and now sell them, as opposed to looking at a menu manually and trying to, pull everything out and look everything up and things like that. I could just plug in, say, Chili's menu. Hey, using the Chili's Grill and Bar menu, can you list me every raw ingredient that's on there? 5 seconds. It just starts to pop up. And I'm like, holy crap. So that's kind of what.
That's a really cool use case.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I use it for. It's a huge time saver is what I look at it as, is how I use it for work. And then my next exposure was when you and I did the pod in your hotel room the one time, and we started messing around with, doing the voiceover and having your computer record just my voice. And based on 1 or 2 sentences I said, suddenly I'm saved in your computer. And, you showed me that you could just essentially record a podcast episode using 2 recorded voiceovers on just spit out what ChatGPT says based on a subject you're talking about, kind of thing. I was amazed at that.
Yep.
And then just this week, I'm like, okay, I keep hearing it. AI here, AI there, marketing, AI, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'm going to start to mess around with this. So as I've talked about, Joshua's got his car detailing business that he's getting off the ground, which by the way, he had a great week. His highest revenue week so far was just this past week. So shout out to him.
Go Gwiggs Detailing.
Yeah.
Give it the plug.
Yeah, there you go. So, I'm like, you know what? I wonder what kind of ad I could put together for him. Jeff, I kid you not. It took me less than a minute. I had a script, I had a voiceover, and I had like a photo montage to match it. And I sent it to you very raw. The timing was off, but honest to God, I created that probably, like I said, between 30 and 45 seconds. That's all it took. And with some editing and
it's pretty crazy,
with a little bit of editing and a little bit of, altering of the script and matching up the film as opposed to the voiceover and all that, I was convinced I would have a ready to go advertisement in probably under 10 minutes, which is incredible to me. That I could post on, say, Instagram or Facebook Reel or YouTube and just have it get hit after hit after hit. And, basically he would, hopefully get hits on it and things like that. So I'm just amazed at this whole thing. So I think it's awesome.
I think it's great. I think the one thing that concerns me is what they call AI slop. And so AI slop is when you have a whole bunch of low quality AI generated content just clogging up everything.
Sure.
So YouTube actually has a lot of this.
Yeah.
I'm sure Instagram and I'm sure TikTok has it too. And you can kind of tell, right? It's videos with an AI voice and there's like not much effort made to it. But it's becoming a real problem, so much so that Google is actually changing their terms of service and trying to remove and demonetize a lot of that, what they call AI slop.
Okay.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's great to have the tools, and I'm a big fan of it. But I think there comes a point where it's like, it almost becomes like spam email. And it's like, this doesn't add value to anything.
Right. So it really hit me. I don't know if you've heard this story. Are you familiar with the music group, the Velvet Sundown?
Is this the AI band that was busted on Spotify?
This is the AI band who's put out 3 albums in a 6-week period. In 2025, their music is like, I did some research. Their music is like 60s and 70s, kind of, they call it the 60s and 70s psychedelic era of music. It's very, I'm sure, if you dropped acid to it, it would fit, that kind of thing. Not that I ever did that, but that's what, that's how it read. They have 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. This group does. 100% created the music, the voices, the images of supposed band members, all 100% created by AI. They have an Instagram, they have a TikTok, they have a Twitter, all that stuff. But not that, and granted, I did the research I did was quick. I'm sure if I dug into it, I might be able to find it. I can't find who created this, who put it together. It's a big mystery as to who put this together. It was a story in Newsweek. It's a story in Rolling Stone. I'm sure it's all over the music world. And now it's gotten, I know 2 artists have spoken out. What is it? Elton John and Dua Lipa, who I'm sure you're familiar with both of them, have spoken out and said, before this gets way out of control, we need to regulate this and figure it out. Because their opinion is this could destroy the artistry of music and take out, real human creativity of music. And I find it really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we played around with AI music for this show.
We did. I know.
I spat out 20 of them. I think I sent it to you in the course of a couple hours.
Yes.
And it's getting easier. Now, I agree with, I don't know if I would ever say this before, but I agree with Dua Lipa and Elton John. It is definitely a concern.
Sure.
It's also too late. It's out there.
Yeah.
There are multiple services out there. Udio is one, Suno is another, and I'm sure Google and Meta and everybody else is working on, make music type things.
Yeah.
In addition to other stuff working on AI. I don't know how to solve for this other than some sort of built-in digital watermark or copyright or something. And this is something that both Adobe and Google are working on, 2 of the biggest names in this space. So Google, YouTube and all the things they do. Adobe is very big in the editing and publishing world and things like that, with things like Adobe Acrobat, but also Premiere and Audition and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? I don't know how you solve this, because I think this is a problem, and not just for music. It's a problem for cybersecurity. It's a problem for everything. If I can create something like a podcast where I have your voice and I've made an AI version of that, and what if my security system is built off of voice biometrics? Hey, I just recognize your voice and it lets you in. And there are systems that are out there like that. There's definitely a problem here, and authenticity is the problem, or one of the problems, I should say. So I don't know how to solve it, but I know that it's too late. These tools are already out there, and it's like a hammer. Hammers can be great if you need to build a house. It can also be bad if you if you need to use it as a weapon.
Oh, well.
So we just have to figure out how to take care of it.
I feel like it's coming fast and furious, and it seems like everywhere you look, there's a new AI tool that's out there for something. And
sure. It's the new gold rush.
Yeah. And it feels like a lot of people are rushing to somehow figure out how to make money on it, using it. And,
oh, yeah.
And
there is billions, if not trillions of dollars being poured already into the AI market.
Yeah. So
yeah, because everybody's trying to find the next big thing for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at valuations of company like OpenAI, which their only product really is this AI thing that they've got. They are technically still a nonprofit. Now they're trying to convert to a for-profit company, and they're running into challenge with that.
Sure.
But there are, billions, if not trillions. These companies are valued at like hundreds of billions of dollars
already. I mean,
already.
Yeah, like I said,
and that's without even showing like a profit.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's really why Elon Musk has so much money. Is a lot of his stuff is speculation.
Sure.
Tesla sales are down, but they're still up because of the AI and the other stuff that, the Tesla self-driving vehicles have, as well as his multiple other companies that have AI components to it. It's all speculative. It's not real money.
Well,
it's real in the sense of I can buy a house with with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like cryptocurrency. Is it? It's there, but I can't. It's not tangible. I can't hold a Bitcoin. That kind of thing.
It's the classic. I'm going to pay you. I will, give me a house today, or give me a hamburger today, and I will gladly pay you on Thursday.
Yeah,
you're assuming that I had the money and I'm taking a loan out against whatever the public or the evaluator or the bank or whoever says that my company is worth. If they think that my company is worth $50 billion, that essentially means that I'm worth $50 billion because I can then take out loans against that valuation. I don't draw a salary. I don't do anything. It's just, oh, you think my company's worth $50 billion? Great. Give me a loan for $2 million that I can live off of. And I'll give you this X percentage part of my company, or it's deferred until, whatever it may be. And this is how a lot of the, really the multi-billionaires make a lot of money, because so much of their money is paper. It's not real. Like it's a file somewhere.
So just as we're talking about this, I just thought of this. Do you remember the movie? And this is like 45 years ago. Do you remember the movie War Games with Matthew Broderick?
Of course. Yeah, it's classic.
Okay. You could almost say now that movie and the way it was done, they're playing a game against a computer that's ready to blow up the world. That movie it now kind of relates to what we're talking about here. You got a computer that is acting as if it's real, right? So is that movie way, way, way ahead of its time? Granted, the technology back then was pretty basic and the graphics were basic and stuff, but the idea is kind of what we're talking about here. Another movie.
I mean, AI is, like I said, AI has been around forever, and that movie's been out since '83.
Yeah,
when it came out.
And another movie you think about, totally different plot, totally different story and everything. But remember the movie Weird Science, where the two guys created the girl on the computer? Yeah. From what I've seen, and granted, it's in reels and shit, but you can create that now pretty hardcore, and something pretty close to real on the computer that is that kind of thing. So again, another movie that was way ahead of its time. I think that came out in '85, maybe a little later. I don't remember, but
no, it was '85. Yeah.
That's
just a couple years after War Games.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's like so much of that thinking is really how technology comes around.
Sure.
And you think about things like the tablet PC. Where did we first see that? Was like Star Trek.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, "Oh, that's a cool idea. How do we build that?" Right? Some
how do we make that
person is sitting around is like, "Oh yeah, we have to. Yeah,
how do we make that real?" Right.
Yeah. Or how do you take the the Star Trek pin, right? The thing that you can tap on and talk to anybody you want.
Oh yeah.
Whoever, right? That's a cell phone. Like it's, it'll get better, it'll get faster, it'll get stronger, like all that stuff. But so many of these ideas are dreamt up before they actually become real. And then what comes along is the technology to build the thing finally reaches a maturity. It's miniaturization. It used to be, I have a computer and it's this giant box,
right,
sitting in there in a room, and I had to put like punch cards into it. And then it became a desktop thing. Now it's a laptop thing, and now it's a thing that's on everyone's pocket or on their wrist.
Yeah, exactly.
It just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's the more miniaturized, the more powerful things can be because you're able to fit more compute power into a smaller space.
Right.
So that's why I say, like, people went to like the computer you're carrying around in your pocket, your cell phone, is significantly more powerful than the computer that was used to send people to the moon, which is ridiculous if you think about it.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when the first iPhone came out, and I'll admit I was late to the party on iPhones. It took me probably about 3 years after they came out when I finally got one. And I was like, where have you been all my life? This thing is awesome. and I've had it attached to my hip ever since, basically. Probably too much if people who know me see me on my phone a lot, because it's in my hand all the time. I'm vast information. Everything's at your fingertips. It's right there. And, we'll be talking and it's like trying to think of something. Oh yeah, I'll Google it. And I got it. It's right there.
Yeah. You literally have all the information in the world
in your hand,
at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Things like the internet.
Yeah.
Connectivity. I mean, if you remember, like, the dark ages, it was like, oh, I got to connect my modem.
Uh-huh.
Right? And things and the pictures would load like one line at a time, and you'd spend 3 minutes,
yes,
or 10 minutes, or hours. Right? No, don't pick up the phone. Oh, my connection dropped.
The early days of AOL, America Online. I remember.
Yeah, right. And all this stuff is just getting better and cheaper and more available, and that's how it works.
I remember.
And now you've got AI, and it's the same thing.
I remember sitting in my college dorm room when I was first exposed to a chat room. I thought that was just the neatest thing ever. Because you're just talking to somebody that you have no idea who they really are. And, you're just BSing about God knows what. So, yeah, it's pretty wild.
So then I assume you know what ASL means.
ASL?
In a chat room.
Did
you ever get into those chat rooms?
I used to, yeah.
Okay. So ASL was, this was been like, I guess it would have been like the AOL days, like age, sex, language.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it was. That's right.
And so people would type, like 13M/English. Yeah. Right. And it was really the beginning of the perviest of the pervs.
Oh, for sure.
Trying to talk up, the other sex on chats. Mostly men trying to go after women.
Yeah.
And men pretending to be women online.
Yes.
So.
Oy.
Yep.
And now you got the fake.
Well, like anything else, right?
Yeah, you got fake Instagram profiles, and I'm sure AI is a part of that. And yeah, it's generating
catfishing, all that stuff.
Fake pictures, whatever. So pretty wild. So
fake bands.
Yeah. Fake.
So yeah, to bring it back to Velvet, whatever it was called, Velvet
Velvet Sundown.
Velvet Sundown. Yeah. Now, what was interesting about them is, they put out a bunch of stuff and they're in Spotify, but they also were defending themselves, saying, "Oh no, we're not AI."
I saw that.
Kind of like their mistake was they tried to hide it, and this is not something that you can hide, right? No. If you're a popular band, people are gonna say, "Well, where do you see these guys?" And you just, it's not sustainable. So I don't know, what their end game was, but I'm sure they made money off Spotify for those types of things.
Oh, no doubt. There was some quote that they said, I'm trying to find it, something about we're not 100% human, but we're not 100% machine. We're somewhere in the middle. It was something like that. And it's like, well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So if they were getting a million Spotify listeners, they were probably generating between $3,000 and $4,000 a month in Spotify income.
Okay, well,
roughly, because that's interesting. You really don't make very much money unless you're streaming into the millions.
Yeah,
on music services,
right?
If you're selling CDs, or really, to make money in music, you really have to tour. That's where you make your money.
Yeah, somebody was saying, just because we don't do TikTok dances or live stream our process doesn't mean we're fake. Yeah, you kind of. I don't think you're.
Yeah, you kind of.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you're fake, but you can't say it's all original talent that created your stuff. So, yeah, I can see why people like Elton John and Dua Lipa and whoever else might be concerned with how the industry is going to go. Because let's be real, that's what they're gonna have to compete with. So,
I think it's legit concerning. We might have talked about this several episodes ago. I don't know how many we did, but this idea of AI music.
Yes.
And what if you could, and you kind of had this right now with things like, remember Pandora?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I know it's still around. I don't use it anymore, but you could type in a couple bands, or you could type in a mood,
Yeah.
right, or a style of music, and it would generate, a playlist for you.
Like you could listen to
and pretty much all the
Metallica radio. That's what it was the group and then radio.
Right. And it would tell you, oh, here's Metallica, and then here's a bunch of similar bands right now. And then everybody copied that. Apple has it, Spotify has it, whatever it may be. But we're also in the age of, I can go to an app like Suno or Udio and type in, a genre, a feeling, whatever I want to type in.
Sure.
And it will pull up a bunch of AI stuff. And we're very close to the spot where it will just automatically generate music based on whatever that is. And you're going to have a personalized, music experience. Chances are no one else would have the exact same music experience as you unless you save it somehow.
Right. Or could you record copyright
it?
Maybe. You copyrighted it. Or
Yeah. But you might type in, let me listen to Metallica radio, or give me something like Metallica, right? And you type that in and it generates something that's like Metallica. I could do the exact same thing. It will not give me the same thing.
Right.
There will be differences, permutations, throughout the entire construct of the music that will be different. And it'll be very unique and very specific to what Jason typed at that time, that date, on that build of the AI and blah, 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 right? All these different variables. And I think it's really interesting that you're at some point, I'm going to guess sometime in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to go into Spotify or Apple Music, wherever it may be. And you can kind of see this now. It's like, I just want to give me something to jam to while I drive.
Yeah.
And it'll be a mix of AI generated music as well as human generated music. Let's call it.
Well, I don't think we're probably not that far away from, say, one person having an idea and then, say I'm Dave Grohl and I know he could play everything, but I'm a guy like Dave Grohl. I could play drums, I could play guitar, but I need a bass guy. I don't have a bass guy. Well, okay, AI could generate the bass parts for it. Or, I have this music, but I need a singer. I want a female singer. Then they do like a female duet with the female part being AI, that kind of thing. I don't think we're that far away from even that being public with it, being, hey, part of our album is AI generated or AI assisted or whatever. It may already be happening for all we know. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing commercials that ran during the Super Bowl that were 100% AI.
Right.
I mean, it's already in the mainstream. I mean, this is kind of like, the band Gorillaz.
Oh, yeah.
It's Damon Albarn, who is from Blur, blah, 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 right? If you think about it, they've been around since the late 90s, I want to say, 98, 99. And they were a virtual band.
Right.
Like they, were anime cartoon type style. And that was sort of the band was like this alter ego. But it's the same idea. It's something that's creating the music behind the scenes, and then the portrayal to the public is this totally other persona.
I just find it completely fascinating. I know we're looking at doing some AI stuff for my job as far as I do a lot of stuff with Salesforce, and supposedly there's a program coming out. It's called,
there's a ton of AI being built in Salesforce.
AI, they call it AI.
Is it Einstein, I think?
Yeah. And we got a thing coming to us. They're calling it AI 360. So we're waiting for that. We're supposed to hear about that probably in about a month. And hopefully it takes a lot of the busy work out of my day, because I have a lot of just wishy-washy busy work that I got to feed into Salesforce. Supposedly now you just say what you did and it's going to populate in wherever it needs to go in the computer. So, I'm anxious for that. I like I said, the whole thing just fascinates me. And how quickly it's coming. It's fast, it's furious. And, even I've read Mark Cuban say it. I've read, another, what's his name? The other guy on Shark Tank, Kevin. Oh, what the hell is this? I can't.
Kevin O'Leary.
Yes. He has said it. He's like, hey, these guys
Mr.
are saying,
Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful. If you don't get on board with AI, you are going to get passed up quickly in the business world. So,
yep. I mean, it's already impacting jobs.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's for sure.
For sure.
I mean, it's going to it's going to be a major disruptor for the job market.
Oh yeah.
And we're already seeing it is, companies dropping people and laying off people and going in favor of AI. Amazon's doing it. Microsoft is doing it. Meta is doing it. I mean, everyone is doing it. Like, there are going to be fewer jobs, and we're going to have to figure out what people are going to do, either, upskill, train for new jobs, whatever it may be, but it's coming already, and companies are spending a lot of money on this.
Yeah.
I mean, my company is spending billions of dollars on AI over the next 3 years. Billions with a B.
Capital B. That
means that a bunch of us, and that over 3 years, that means that's a lot of people who are going to be out of work.
Yeah.
Because it's already a shitty job market for fresh college graduates. They're at the most at risk right now because a lot of the work that an AI in a business context is a lot of the work that a fresh person with no experience in the world would be doing, building PowerPoint presentations, working on Microsoft Word and Excel, right? That stuff like, hey, give me a Chili's menu and break down it by menus, or break down the menu by ingredient. And also tell me which ingredients are used most often and to what percentage, blah, 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 right? This is all stuff that you could tell AI to do now. That would have been, an intern or somebody fresh out of school, right? That would do that work in the past.
So think about it. You're going to use AI to get through college, and then you're going to have to go compete against AI to get a job after college. That's good. Just think about that.
Even the people who were told, like, oh, learn to code and you'll always have a job. AI is taking coding jobs.
Yeah, right.
Because I sat here all week. I'm not a coder. I don't know Python. And I built an app using AI. 100% legit works.
Apparently you don't need to know it.
But that's the thing. It's like you used to. So, I don't know what the answer is other than, learn it. I think the people who know how to use AI are going to have a leg up on the people who don't.
Sure.
But nobody is really safe here, other than if you figure out how to use it, that might make you more valuable and, maybe set you apart from other people that you might be working around with that don't have that skill.
Crazy.
Which sucks. Like, I don't know.
It does suck, but I mean, it's...
Well, at that point, FOJ will have taken off. We will have, billions of listeners, sponsors, we'll make just enough money to be able to, have this be our jobs, and we'll be fine until AI comes for that as well and generates a dynamic, podcast, like, whatever, feed it a bunch of content. Oh, wait. Yeah. Google already did that with their, LLM notebook or something like that, which is absolutely nuts too.
Yeah, it's funny. In fact, so the other day I threw in I think it was Gemini. See if I can do this real quickly. It might take me a minute because, I am not that fast. Here, I threw in describe the Friends of Jeff podcast into Google Gemini. So I wanted to see what it was.
Yeah, you sent me this. This is pretty cool.
And, did I send you the screenshot as to what it said? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I did. Okay, so maybe I'll find it on there. I was blown away at how quickly that it came up and how it described it. And I gotta find and if you have it quicker than I do, let's see.
I can.
Oh, here it is.
What I was gonna do. Okay.
Here it is. So the FOJ show is a podcast where Jeff and his co-host Jason dive into a wide range of current events, pop culture, and sports topics. They often mix in personal anecdotes and would you rather segments, creating a casual, conversational, and often humorous atmosphere. Think of it as listening to two friends chat about whatever's on their minds, from NBA trades to AI controversies and even frustrating car sagas. I was like, holy shit. How do they know this?
Yeah. So Gemini is Google.
Yeah.
Google owns YouTube. Our podcast is on YouTube, which means it's transcribed, and boom, there you go.
I'm just amazed, man. I was kind of flattered. I was kind of flattered that it was a rather uplifting, positive review, if you will. So pretty cool.
So while we're talking here, I'm asking the same question of Gemini to give it the same, but I also want to compare it against ChatGPT.
Okay.
To see what it knows, because the one thing I like about Gemini, it's usually the one I go to first, is It's connected to the internet.
Okay.
So it has Google search built in. Some of the other ones do not have that. And so I can describe for you. I just typed in describe the Friends of Jeff podcast. I'd probably make it describe the FOJ podcast. Is that what you typed in?
No, I did the Friends of Jeff because I didn't know if FOJ, if it would have recognized it. It probably would have, but I did Friends of Jeff.
So here's interesting. My first prompt to Gemini was describe the Friends of Jeff podcast, and we didn't show up.
Okay.
What came up was something called Jeff Has Cool Friends, some comedy interview thing, Jeff Dies Friendship podcasts.
Wow.
Other podcasts with that name. FOJ did not come up at all.
Okay.
But when I said, how about the FOJ podcast, then it came back and gave, a pretty nice little description of kind of what this thing is about.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing on ChatGPT. I said, describe the Friends of Jeff podcast, and it came up with the same thing. Jeff Has Cool Friends, a podcast, whatever that is. And then I said, okay, how about the FOJ podcast? And it came back, with our podcast. So here's what ChatGPT says about us. Format and focus, a lively sports-first podcast peppered with pop culture, current events, tech talk, and tongue-in-cheek segments like Would You Rather and Dumbass of the Week. Hosts, Jeff shares travel adventures like Las Vegas sushi trips or international conferences. Jason brings insights from youth baseball coaching and sports betting angles. Let's see. Typical episode structure, game day recaps, baseball, basketball, NFL, roster, draft breakdowns, personal anecdotes, mentions my car troubles, dining discoveries, Would You Rather, Dumbass of the Week, listener shout outs, broader topics, and then style and vibe, conversational, casual, often humorous banter, and then 2+ hours per episode, blending serious sports talk with lighthearted personal banter. So,
okay, based on that, who wouldn't want to listen to this show? How do we only have like 20 listeners around? I mean,
20. We got that many?
I don't even know how many it is. I know we talked about being worldwide, and that's great, but I'm sorry, you can't get a better review or description of what we do here. And how could you not want to take 2 hours out of your week and shut everything else off and relax and listen to this show? How could you not?
No, first of all, you have to want to listen to the two of us talk. And we have to be talking about things that people want to hear about, which, look, this is what you and I want to talk about. And this is what we do. Whether people find it interesting, entertaining, no idea. But that's the one thing. The other one is 2 hours is a long time for a podcast.
It is.
I think
it is.
45 minutes to an hour is kind of like what I would think typically. But we just, we talk typically once a week and we kind of get everything out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, see you next week.
Well, I know a few of my coworkers listen, and I know it takes them like 2 or 3 or 4 different spurts that they get through it. Like they'll drive, they'll be driving from customer to customer, and hey, I got 20 minutes. I'll listen to the first 20 minutes of the show. Go see a customer, blah blah blah. Get back in the car, pick up the show again, go on and on and on, that kind of thing. So I get it. 2 hours is a lot. Listening start to finish. Yeah, that's a lot to ask, I think. But
yeah, I get it. Look, like I said, I do this because I like talking with you. First and foremost, the distant second is if other people find it interesting.
Yeah.
And hopefully, this is the kind of thing where it's like people need to share it for it to grow. And so if you're listening to this and you like what you hear, share it. If you don't like what you hear, send it to an enemy and, or hate listen to it. I don't really care.
Definitely share it.
No, I mean, send it to your friends or enemies, whether they like it or hate it. There's an option for you.
Yeah. I love it. I have loved it since the day we started. I enjoy the conversation. I feel like it's really rekindled our friendship, which I really like. And that's what means the most for me about it. And it is a nice way to end the week. I can relax, just shoot the shit and talk about whatever. And then, I'm refreshed, ready to go Monday. And I'll admit, I do listen to every episode just because I'm curious and what, I personally could do better. And I like what we've done. I think it's been great. So.
Well, yeah, like I said, I like doing it. I'm going to keep doing it as long as can.
Oh yeah.
And 37 episodes. here we are still doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a work in progress. Everything gets better over time. So I'm not too concerned about it.
No.
Next thing we got to get for you is get you a nice computer or a nicer computer that has a USB port that doesn't, like, if you stare at it, it disconnects.
It's so funny.
Stuff like that.
But this computer right now.
You got your mic? Like, you're good on that?
Yes. And I the USB that the mic is plugged into. So I have another USB plug for my printer just kind of sitting jammed under it so it doesn't move. So as long as it doesn't move, because the port that the thing goes into is very loose, and that was the problem I was having. But if I keep that other USB plugged underneath it, then nothing moves at all, which seems to be fine. So yeah, it's kind of,
well, as you get older, your ports get loose. You got to keep them tight. So,
in more ways than one, Jeff, yes. I know.
Yeah. So I'm convinced like 90% of our technical issues are because of that port. And that's usually like you get disconnected.
They could be.
And I can hide it in an audio podcast. Yeah, it's easy to do. So yeah.
Yeah.
Little behind the scenes, kicked the fourth wall on it. But
well, someday I'll.
Yeah. Anyway, so AI is going to take our jobs. And, on that note, enjoy the rest of your week.
Yay. Thank you. Good night.
So I actually had a few things that I wanted to run by you.
Fire away.
I've got a list here. So I guess this is probably real quick. Andy Reid was voted by the AP as top NFL head coach. Agree? Disagree?
I think it is difficult to not agree with that, or be difficult to disagree with that.
Who's in the running?
Well, considering who's won the Super Bowls, in the recent years, he's obviously up there. Who's as far as who's in the running? Sirianni's probably up there. I know a lot of experts really like O'Connell in Minnesota, but he hasn't won anything. But he's fairly new there.
I feel like you can't be there until you actually win something.
Right. I think I'm not saying he's the best, but two guys that have done it really well for a long time are Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. So I think you have to put both of those guys up there. Based on his track record in his career in football coaching, I think Jim Harbaugh is worthy of discussion. But Andy Reid is definitely, I think, in a class by himself at the top, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's hard to argue. And I think it's great to have a bunch of young and up and comers, but you've got to win something first.
Yeah.
And show that you can do it more than once. So yeah, it's hard to argue against Andy Reid. I thought that was kind of a no-brainer, but I want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think so. Now, I will say in regards to what we follow, the Bears and their division between Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell and Kevin O'Connell and the guy in Green Bay whose name escapes my mind right now. But I think those four, all four of them.
LaFleur.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur. Thank you. All four are fairly young.
Just have to remember, stuck at LaFleur from a dodgeball.
Oh, that's right. That was funny. I think those four are probably a very, I don't want to say they're the best, but I think they're the best up and coming group of NFL head coaches that are all four of them are very sharp. I know Campbell is a little older and he's a defensive guy and all that, but O'Connell, LaFleur, Johnson are like these young offensive, I don't want to say geniuses, but these young offensive minds that create offense and, are really great with young quarterbacks and things like that. So I'm excited to see those guys do battle over the next 4 or 5 years. And, because I don't think any of them are going to get fired anytime soon. So I think it's going to be fun.
It's a tough division, and the head coach, it starts with the head coach, and it's a killer, it's a killer group there. It's kind of hard to argue against that one. One name that you didn't mention that I'm a little surprised with is Sean McVay. Didn't make your list.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
2 NFC championships, 4 NFC West championships,
I'm surprised I didn't.
One coach of the year.
I'm surprised I didn't mention him either, because outside of the Bears, I grew up a Rams fan because, my parents are from Southern California. So my dad always loved the Rams. So I've kind of followed them as my second tier team just because. And when he got their head coaching job, I think he was maybe 30. He may have been even younger than that.
Yeah, he's pretty young.
I was just amazed. Yeah. And so following his career has been pretty interesting. And yeah, he's an excellent head coach. So yeah, I would take him. That's for sure. I would put him in that tier with Tomlin and the Harbaughs and those guys for sure.
That next rung down from
Reid. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let's see. Moving on. Wimbledon. Now, I can't say I'm a Wimbledon fan, but I saw this headline and I thought this is something that only happens at Wimbledon or a tennis match, maybe golf.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Okay. So there was an announcement made at Wimbledon by the judge or whoever on the loudspeaker, right? Basically because there was a cork that landed on the playing surface. The court. And the announcement was, ladies and gentlemen, as a courtesy to both players, please do not pop champagne corks just as the players are about to serve. Is that the most Wimbledon shit you've ever heard? That is so
Wimbledon, man. Because what is it? They can only wear all white. It's like they call it the All England Club, and everything's all proper. And I don't know if the royalty still goes to the matches, but the Queen of England used to go, and it was just a huge deal to be at Wimbledon and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is totally Wimbledon, man. I remember my parents were huge tennis fans, when I was growing up, and every Wimbledon weekend they would always get together with the friends that lived behind us, and they would do their little strawberries and cream, because that was like the thing to have at Wimbledon. And my mom always put together strawberries and cream for Wimbledon finals, and yeah, so proper and all that stuff. So that is so Wimbledon, man. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, that's some Wimbledon shit right there. An ill-timed bottle pop from the crowd resulted in a cork landing on the court.
I mean, I personally, I hate when that happens when I play. So, I can understand why it might bother, Wimbledon finals tennis. So yeah, I could.
This is why Top Golf is such a challenge, right? I mean, you have all that food and drink happening behind you.
Well, yeah.
And that's where your real athletes come from. Yeah. All right. Well, I saw that headline today earlier, and I was like, all right, I asked you.
Yeah, I did not hear about that. That's funny.
That's my sports things. I know you've probably got things you want to talk about. I also want to talk about movies, and Marvel, but let's stay on the sports stuff right now. What do you have for sports for me?
Okay. So I've got, real quick, we just talked about football. Bears training camp does start Friday, rookies report, and then veterans report on Monday, and then open practice to the public starts on July 25th. So football season is officially here. So we can start to monitor that and monitor how practice is going, and how, will Colston Loveland, will he see the practice field anytime soon? Will Luther Burden see the practice field anytime soon? Because they both were injured for mini camps and all that kind of thing. So I'm still excited. I'm excited for Caleb. I'm excited for Ben Johnson. I cannot wait, man. It's going to be awesome.
Look, I want to support the team, but I do not want to get sucked into every single thing that happens at training camp being like the end all be all. Oh, so-and-so had a great training camp. I don't care.
I'm with you there.
Or someone had a bad training. I don't care.
Or Caleb threw 2 interceptions in training camp today. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
As long as nobody gets injured, and as long as it seems like coordination and new head coaching and new everything is getting installed, fine. Go do your thing. Hit me up in August or September, whenever the preseason's done. Maybe obviously by game 1, that's when I start to really care. I do not want to get sucked into this, like, oh, Colston dropped a pass, he's the worst thing ever, or where is Cole Kmet and all this? He hasn't been active, right? Well, I don't care.
Very fair. Yeah. Yes, I get that. I totally get that. But I'm just happy that we're here because, it's.
Oh, yeah. It means it's closer.
Yes, you get excited for the build up, and I'm excited about that. So that's going on.
And I have to sign up for YouTube again and get the NFL Sunday ticket so I can actually watch the Bears.
That's right.
Yeah, all that stuff's coming up.
Friendly reminders. So, okay, so we are at the All-Star break in baseball officially as of tonight. We had Home Run Derby tomorrow. I cannot tell you one participant in this year's Home Run Derby because I don't know. I think players turn it down and it doesn't make it nearly as interesting anymore, but we'll see. I'll probably
Well, it used to be because people didn't want to
ruin their
mess up their swing or something, right?
So that's tomorrow. The All-Star game is on Tuesday. The only thing that's interesting here, let me get your take on this. So the Cubs they are sending 3 guys to the All-Star game. We already went over this with Kyle Tucker, Pete Armstrong, and Matthew Boyd. So Matthew Boyd has elected not to pitch in the All-Star game, mostly because I think he pitched on, it was Saturday. It was either Saturday or Friday. So he really wouldn't be rested at all. But he said, I'm going to take the break. Cubs have had pitching problems, and they're hurting for arms and things like that. He's like, I want to be fresh and ready for the second half, which is fine. So the National League they select players to replace guys like this, right? So they have taken this young rookie, and I forget his name, and shame on me. I should have been more prepared for this, but it's a rookie pitcher who has pitched all of 5 games, 25 innings the entire season. Now, granted, the guy throws like 102 miles an hour. It's like 33 strikeouts in 25 innings. Really tough to hit. I mean, probably would be worthy of an all-star selection maybe next year when he had more time because he's pretty young and stuff. But he's been selected to the team. And there are guys in the National League who are like, what the fuck is this? How is this kid who's basically thrown like next to nothing being selected for the All-Star team? Like it's becoming a clown show, that kind of thing. So my question to you is, if you're the league and you got a young guy who's marketable, he is a national story. People are aware of him. Unlike me, most people know his name, and probably somebody that people would want to see versus a guy who's barely played, maybe not deserving of an all-star nod. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm like the players on this. Call me old school, but I think you have to earn your spot.
Yeah.
To be an all-star. I'd also say that if you decline to play in the all-star game because of, let's say, for a non-injury reason, I don't think you should keep your all-star spot.
I'm with you on that. And that might be the case. Maybe he isn't going. I don't know. But I think that
I mean, if he's not going, like, so if someone said, okay, you're an all-star and blah blah blah, here's the game. I don't care if you pitched 3 days ago. Go out there and pitch half an inning or be part of the festivities or whatever. Sure. Right? Do whatever. No, I don't want to do that because I need another day of rest or whatever it may be. I get the whole rest thing, but this is the All-Star game. You were selected. It's supposed to be an honor to be there, and because you want to take the extra time off. I don't know. That just something about it doesn't sit right with me. Like, I feel like you should be there and you should still play, even if it's only, like I said, 1 inning that you pitch or 1 batter you come in as a relief or something. I don't care. Get your ass out there and play.
So this guy, okay, so his name is Jacob Mizorowski. He has started 5 games for the Brewers. He's 4-1. His average fastball is 99.3 miles per hour. He has gone over 100 miles an hour 89 times. And in his first 11 innings in the majors, he did not give up a hit, which has never happened before. So there is some buzz about how good this guy is. But I agree.
Okay, but
yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
So that's great. He's a great pitcher. for the All-Star game, is that really what you want to see, a pitcher's duel?
Well, that's
entertaining.
That's the game where you want to see the best of the best. But is 5 games a fair representation of what could be considered as the best? Right?
No, I think that's more like that should be like an exhibition thing. Like, okay, have this kid go up and throw up against Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani. Let's see that. That's the matchup people want to see, right? It's the hard thrower versus the slugger, right? Or somebody who gets on base a lot or whatever, maybe, right? High batting average. I don't want to see an All-Star game that is like 2-1. That's boring as shit for an already boring game.
So you think the pitcher should just go out there and get manhandled out there? You think it's just hitting?
No, I mean, I think I don't know what the answer is, but I can tell you I don't want to watch a 2-1, a 3-2 game. Like, that's just boring, because that means the pitching wasn't great. The batting wasn't great. And it was just, another ho-hum day at the park.
Well,
now if it's a slugfest, great, bring it on. Now, if it's truly, a pitcher's duel where we've got no hitters going into the 6th, 7th, 8th, and actually the players are trying to get hits, which is the other thing, is I don't know if I would, I don't know if I would call the All-Star effort,
sure.
Versus is there a reason to play for it? I think they play for home field advantage.
Not anymore. They did for a while, but now it is a true exhibition. It's just
a
gathering of
maybe some money for the winning team. I guess
a gathering of friends, like this podcast. That kind of
thing. Yeah. It's so the Friends of MLB podcast coming to Apple Player near you.
No, it's all for show. I mean, you got the home run derby, and they have a futures game. They're doing they're doing the baseball draft right now, which I'll get into in a second. There's no ramifications as to the rest of the season. What you're talking about though with pitching versus hitting and things like that, I think right now, baseball is more of a pitcher's game than it is a hitter's game. Reason I say that, there are only 7 players in Major League Baseball who have a batting average of 300 or better. It's in my lifetime, I can't remember when it was that few guys were hitting better than 300. Now, Gray, you got Aaron Judge who's hitting.
But there's a lot of home runs. So is there a lot of
home runs?
There's a lot of home run hitters.
A lot of home runs, a lot of strikeouts. Yes, it is all or nothing in baseball right now. So, the idea of batting average has kind of gone down, and it's now based on base percentage and slugging percentage. Your OPS, which is on base plus slugging, is kind of more important than your actual batting average. So the game's changed, and it's just I find it interesting. You got Tigers have the best record in baseball right now at 59-38. The Dodgers are right behind them at 58-39. Cubs 57-39. So, I think the big surprise is the Tigers. The Rockies are 22-74. And the White Sox are 32-65. So I think it's safe to say that the White Sox are not going to have the worst record in baseball. They are ahead of last year's pace. They didn't get win number 30 until like the first week of August last year. So they're almost a full month ahead of where they were last year. Granted, they're still 33 games under 500, so they got a long way to go. But tonight they drafted a shortstop out of high school in Corona, California, with the number 10 pick. Supposedly the best defensive shortstop in the draft. This guy also has a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, but I think they're going to use him as a shortstop. And then the Cubs drafted a right fielder out of Wake Forest, who's got a above-average bat, big-time power, huge upside. However, he is coming off of shoulder surgery. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys develop. The Cubs guy, being a college guy, might come up quicker. Most high school players take 3, maybe 4 years to get to the majors. So we'll see, but just a couple guys to be keep an eye on. Billy Carlson for the Sox and Ethan Conrad for the Cubs. Cool. Yeah, I know. Awesome. Awesome. Outside of Jeff himself, maybe the friends of Jeff who are interested in baseball would be glad to know that. So there you go. And
So the Colorado Rockies, I looked at the standings on ESPN, and their run differential is minus 253.
holy
Impressive.
Oh. It's almost like you got to
second place.
You got to try.
Is the Athletics?
You got to try.
Minus 134.
Oh man, you almost have to try to be that bad.
So double. Yeah.
That's bad.
See now that's a team that I want to go out and support. Is let's go see the Rockies and just boo the shit out of them.
Oh, I'm sure they get booed quite a bit. And then the last bit of sports I have for you is today was the last day of the 13U JR Stars season. Season ended today.
And how'd we do?
I'm going to say we ended on a high note. We actually were in a tournament this weekend, wound up playing in the championship game after 3 very well played games by our team. We went down in the championship game. It was 8-1 after 2 innings. We're losing. We chipped away, came all the way back to tie it in the 7th. Then we went into extras. Both teams got a run in the 8th. So it was 9-9. And then our pitcher just kind of ran out of gas and gave up a couple of hits, and they beat us 10-9 for the championship. But could not be more proud of our guys. The way they have played probably the last, I'm going to say 3 weeks. Honestly, it's been night and day since that night that we lost, what was it, like 30-4 or whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of progress. Very proud of our guys. They were sad to see it end. There were some tears. I mean, they're 13, they're young. We got 4 guys leaving the team for, various reasons and things like that. So, a bittersweet day today for the Stars. Very proud. Finished with a record of 20 wins, 23 losses, and 1 tie. And considering where we came from, it's not bad. I'm very proud of the kids. Really looking forward to next year. Had a ton of fun. As I told the team, I told the kids this, and I told the parents this. I said, outside of one of the boys and the guy that I coach with who wasn't there today, I didn't really know anybody on this team. I didn't know anybody. And those guys took me in, gave me the opportunity to coach, which I hadn't done in a few years. And I forgot how much I love that and how much I love being with the kids and, teaching them the game of baseball. And I mean, it's more than just baseball, right? It's a lot of things, but I didn't know I needed that back in my life until I actually went out and did it. And I missed it. And it was a ton of fun. And I'm looking forward to next year. So it was really, really good ending to something that was going to go south, but thank God it didn't. So hats off to the boys, hats off to the guys I coach with. It was a lot of fun.
Well, that's great. Congratulations to the team. Let's go ahead and give them the FOJ listeners of the week.
There we go.
Good way to end that. Pulling a Costanza, always ending on a high note.
Absolutely. Very proud of the guys. So it's good job. So that's my sports for this week.
Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you about movies.
Okay.
And best 90s movie. What do you think is the best 90s movie? And to qualify, that means it needed to have come out between 1990 and 1999.
Okay.
And there's a lot of good movies. I have a list. But what's something in the 90s that is a favorite? What do you think is the best one?
Okay, if I recall, and I think you mentioned it before we went on the air because we kind of pre-spoke about this, and I loved this movie, and I'll watch it now. Goodfellas was just awesome, and I think that's a 90s film. If 1990, okay. I was a big fan of Goodfellas. I think that's one of Joe Pesci's best roles ever. And I thought, what's his name? Ray Liotta was really good as well.
Yeah, I mean that's a classic, and people forget that. What's his name's in it too? Robert De Niro.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
is in that too. So that one's hard to argue against because it's so good.
Yes. God.
That's it. So 1990 was Goodfellas, Dances with Wolves, Edward Scissorhands, Home Alone, Pretty Woman, Total Recall, Ghost, Misery,
Misery was
The Hunt for Red October.
Misery was good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good movies. I mean, that's a great year for movies.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about like, you know, different style, like Home Alone, you know, was huge, turned into this, you know, franchise. Total Recall is still quotable, you know, to this day. Same thing for, you know, Pretty Woman, with much stuff going on with that one too. So a lot of iconic scenes from those. And that's just 1990 alone. So for me, before I start going through this list, there was actually a couple. Goodfellas was definitely one, but I absolutely loved The Matrix, and that came out in 1999.
Matrix.
When that movie came out, I was just like blown away. Like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Well, and yeah, I agree with you, because there was never anything else like it. You know, that was the first movie that had that kind of special effects in it. You know, the
whole bullet time thing,
yeah,
right?
Or the 360
the
view of a camera,
spin, yeah,
that kind of thing. It was the first movie that did that, and there've been a ton of them since. As you were talking, I'm going through some of the other movies from the 90s, and I'm just like, oh man, yeah, that was really good. So yeah, now I've got a couple. So, but yeah, keep going.
Okay, so The Matrix. And we started off the conversation. The Matrix is about AIs fighting against each other.
Yeah.
And humans are kind of caught in the middle. So there you go. Let's see, what else? 1999 also had Fight Club, American Beauty, The Sixth Sense. I mean,
those are all good.
The twist on The Sixth Sense like blew everyone away.
Yes.
What else? Being John Malkovich, The Green Mile, Blair Witch Project, which I've never actually seen the Blair Witch Project. But I know it was very popular, and that shaky like home. It was supposed to be like a home video camera type thing, right?
Horror movie. I saw it, and I remember the hype around it, but I remember being disappointed. I've only seen it the one time. I saw it in the theater.
Was it overhyped?
Yes, very much so. I remember walking out of the theater being like, "What was that?" You know, I mean, it was kind of that was it. Yeah, exactly. I was kind of disappointed. So. But I do remember it.
All right. What are some other good ones? Because that was 1990 and 1999. There's a bunch of stuff that happened in between. What are some other favorites you've got?
Okay. So Boys in the Hood, 1991. I thought that was a great movie with Ice Cube. With Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ice Cube.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh man. It was about all the,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
About the gang violence in LA. Yeah, really good. Silence of the Lambs. 91.
Again, quotable, and has been, you know, spoofed and ripped off so many times since 91.
Really good Jim Carrey movie, The Truman Show, 98. If you like,
it's been a while since I've seen that.
It's been a while for me too. Did you ever see Fargo?
No, never seen Fargo.
Pretty good. Came out in 96. One of my favorite war movies of all time, Saving Private Ryan, 98.
Of course. I mean, instant classic.
Yeah.
When that came out.
And then one of my favorites, Pulp Fiction, 1994.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
I
remember the first time I watched it was the first time I watched it was at your house, actually. I think it was, you know, one of the late nights that we spent there. And I was just like, I just didn't get it, didn't care for it. And then somehow I think we gave it another shot. At least I gave it another shot. And I was like, oh yeah, this is fantastic. I don't know what I was thinking. And this is before I started drinking. So I have nothing to blame it on other than just, I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, Pulp Fiction was amazing. It still is to this day.
Oh yeah, for
I'll watch
sure.
it anytime it's on.
Shawshank Redemption.
Clerks also came out that same year.
Clerks was good.
Clerks, I was immediately like,
yeah.
this is hilarious. I became a Kevin Smith fan right then and there.
Yeah, for sure.
Shawshank, which for some reason has been on, is like, you can always find it on TV somewhere.
Yeah.
On a streaming service, whatever it may be. I feel like it's on a perpetual loop somewhere. And yet I will still watch it every time it comes out.
Yeah, it's pretty good. One movie that was really popular that I never cared for because I thought it was dumb was Men in Black.
Mm-hmm. It was okay. It was what, Tommy Lee Jones
and Will Smith.
Will Smith pre-slap.
Yeah, right.
So it was fine. It was a good, I don't know when it came out in the year, but to me, it struck me as like a good summer movie. Kind of, big action, laughs, and kind of over the top. And, I wasn't going to win any awards, but certainly was original enough and popular enough and well acted enough to entertain.
Yeah, you mentioned American Beauty. I forgot how good that movie was with Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the for the longest time is the biggest movie of all time, Titanic.
Yep. Which I thought was good. Did you like Titanic?
I did. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought it was good. I
mean, it's long, obviously.
It's long, and I know
it.
For some people it's a little sappy, but yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, and we're still arguing over, could he have fit on that door?
Yeah, right.
To this day, could Jack have got on that door with Rose, and why did Rose let him die?
Yeah,
Whatever. But yeah, I thought Titanic was good.
Okay, I'll throw two more at you. A Few Good Men.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean, come on, you want me on that wall? You need me on that wall.
Hey, you can't handle the truth.
That's right. Yeah.
And then I just had it. Well, you said The Sixth Sense. This is kind of two more for you. Jerry Maguire, I think a very underrated Tom Cruise movie.
I think it's fantastic. I don't know who is underrating that movie. I mean, it spawned. It was so huge, so popular.
You don't hear about it all that often, but Show Me the Money is one of the greatest.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And then
1996. Yep.
Yeah, and then I think this was his first role, but Thelma and Louise, featuring Brad Pitt in a very young Brad Pitt.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen it. I mean, I know kind of what happens at the end because it's been spoiled so many times at this point. But
91.
I don't ever actually sat down and watched the entire movie.
1991 with Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis.
Okay.
So yeah,
91 was also Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and so that was like crazy for the special effects with the Terminator from the future coming back, and like, well, we talk about Arnold's a good guy in this movie.
That's right.
That kind of turned people's heads, and also had that weird. It wasn't weird, I guess. Weird at the time would have been the special effects was that whole like silver morphing metal thing. I remember when that came out, that was like, oh, these special effects are unbelievable, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Reservoir Dogs came out in 1992.
Tarantino, very good.
I think, yeah. Unforgiven, which I liked. I think it got overshadowed later on with Tombstone, but Unforgiven was good.
Okay.
Let's see what else. Basic Instinct came out in 1992. That was huge, obviously, because of the whole, erotica portion of it, I would say. Yeah. Groundhog Day came out in 1993. I mean, that's still something that, people get in before. They're quote about. Forrest Gump was also 1994.
The first
Speed, Interview with the Vampire.
Scream. Do you remember Clueless?
What else? Oh yeah, of course. That was what was that?
Alicia Silverstone.
I think that was kind of her breakout role, right?
Yep.
Heat came out in 95, and that movie's amazing.
Also 95.
And Seven.
Yes, I thought 7 was really
good. And Braveheart, and The Usual Suspects, and Apollo 13, and Casino.
Oh wow,
that was 95. And Toy Story came out that year too.
Wow,
I mean, talk about a crazy year for movies. What else came out that? Something called Before Sunrise, which I don't know if I've seen it, but Leaving Las Vegas and Dead Man Walking are the other ones too.
Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club. That was 99.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff, man.
Casino is another one that really rivals Goodfellas for me. Like that's another one that I can watch anytime that's on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Independence Day, 1996. Wow. The first Mission Impossible.
Independence Day is that old.
And here's a.
That's almost 30. That's almost 30 years old. Wow.
Yep. And here's a little bit of trivia for you. So the first Mission Impossible movie came out in 1996.
Okay.
And it's the reason I cut my long hair, because I wanted short hair like Tom Cruise from that movie.
Hey.
So there you go. Little fun fact.
There you go.
If you're listening.
Fun fact.
I used to have long hair that came down to like my jaw. And then it was Aaron Lehman. And I don't remember if Mike was with us at that point as well, but we went to the Supercuts in Bolingbrook. And like, all right, it's time to chop this off. What should I do? And we went short. Give me the Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible.
Wow, that sparks a memory for me. I remember a little later when Aaron Lehman was introduced to me. I remember the night I let Aaron Lehman and Sarah Hardy cut my hair. And they tried hard.
Why?
I don't know, because I don't know. You know, Aaron was
A for effort.
Yeah, Aaron was cool to me and Sarah was cool to me. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I can always buzz it off and grow it back. I don't care. And they actually did a pretty decent job, but you know.
All right. I went to high school with both of them, but didn't really talk to them. I think, yeah, Erin was like class president or something like that. So whatever.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah. I never really talked to her until we worked at Chili's.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great movies from the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Getting back to that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great decade.
Tommy Boys, and, the Adam Sandler stuff, I think, was all in the 90s as well. So,
Tommy Boy.
There's just so many good movies.
Yeah. Tommy Boy is wow. Yeah. That's a good one. Wow. The original Romeo and Juliet was 90s with Leonardo DiCaprio.
So many choices.
Oh yeah.
So much room for activities around here.
Mrs. Doubt.
So that was that.
Mrs. Doubtfire. There's another one for you.
Stoutfire. Yeah, I mean, geez. We could be here forever.
We could
going through all this stuff,
but yeah, a lot of good.
I still think what got me thinking about this was I was just blown away by The Matrix, and to have Goodfellas and The Matrix is sort of bookending it. I was like, wow, that's a pretty good decade for movies.
So out of the movies, all the movies that I just heard, we just said, I'll go Goodfellas, A Few Good Men, Pulp Fiction, and American Beauty. Those are probably my top 4 from that decade for you.
So I'll go, and not in particular order, but The Matrix, Goodfellas, Casino, and Pulp Fiction, I think. Yeah. Pulp Fiction is probably it got to be in that list as well. Yeah. That's a strong list right there.
Definitely.
I'll put that up against anybody.
Oh yeah.
If you have thoughts, send them to Jay, or I guess leave a comment somewhere.
Leave a comment.
We'll try to find it. Right. YouTube or Spotify or whatever it may be.
Send us an email at you're wrong at yahoo.com. Anyway.
All right. So I want to stay with kind of the movie theme here.
Okay.
How about Marvel superheroes? So are you into Marvel?
We've talked about this. I am not into Marvel hardcore. I think I've seen 2, maybe 3 of the 800 Marvel movies that are out there, but I can confidently say that the 2 movies that I have seen, Iron Man is my guy.
Okay. So Iron Man's my guy too, for sure.
There you go.
Iron Man is kind of like the Batman of Marvel.
Yes.
Right. The rich, kind of techie kind of guy, and Iron Man is the shit.
And Robert Downey Jr. is so awesome in that role.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic casting.
Yes.
Like, couldn't have done better. So you're missing out. You need to sit down and watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is different than Marvel Comics and some of the other stuff because they've taken liberties and kind of moved things around. But it is a very well done, for the most part, set of movies, starting with Captain America and a bunch of stuff, all the way through Avengers and stuff like that. But I guess I wasn't sure if you had followed Marvel or not, but Iron Man was mine, and you said the same thing. So where else we go from there?
Well, I know I need to do the Marvel-thon, if you will, at some point. Mm-hmm. So I'll put that on my list. Now that baseball season is,
and they're legit good movies too.
Yeah. Now that baseball season's over, I could, keyword could, because you never know what's going to come up in my life, because I am a busy guy. Mm-hmm. I could have some time on my hands. Knock on wood.
So is it only Iron Man movies that you've seen?
I've seen Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2.
Okay. You're missing out, man.
I got a long way to go.
So you need to watch, what else? The first Thor, I think. So when you sit down, and actually I think if you go to Disney Plus and you go to like the Marvel section, they actually have them listed in like chronological order as far as like the universe goes.
Okay.
And there is like 30 movies or something like that.
I remember we went over
counting like the TV shows.
Yeah, we went over it a couple episodes ago.
But the Captain Americas are good. The Avengers are good. Thors are good. Guardians of the Galaxy is amazing. There's so many good movies in there. I'm both disappointed and happy that you're going to hopefully at some point sit down and watch them and enjoy them.
Well,
but disappointed that you have not already.
Hopefully I am able to give it a better go than Game of Thrones, because I need to get back into that too.
Falling off the wagon, man.
I know.
You're going to forget it, and then you're going to be like, I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna have to.
That's a show that you cannot.
I know. I'm going to have to start all over, like, and it's going to.
If you let it sit too long, you're going to forget.
Yeah,
everything.
It's going to piss me off. So I gotta get back into it. So all right, Marvel, Game of Thrones, got it. All right,
do Game of Thrones first because that's more recent for you. There's probably just as much to watch between what is it, 9 or 10 seasons that they had, and you're still on what, season 2? I think was the last.
Yeah, season 2, like episode 7 or something like that. Yeah,
and there's still so much crazy shit that's going to happen.
Right,
it's good. Okay,
that's fair.
All right, my last topic that I had for you was if you could live anywhere, where would you live?
Ooh,
and I know you haven't traveled much, at least out of the U.S. Where would you live? Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the galaxy. Let's put it that way. If you say Plainfield.
No.
Or like Naperville, I'll be very disappointed.
No. I can give that a hard no.
I would live where I live right now.
Yeah, that's a definite no. Okay. I have 2. Can I have 2? One domestic,
yeah, sure.
One in
your summer house and your winter house.
One domestic, one international. Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. I'm domestic. I'm going to guess Colorado.
If it's my dream, like ultimate, where I can, like, money's no object type thing.
You can go anywhere you want. You can live anywhere you want.
As much as I love Colorado, and I would have reasons to be there, but if it was my dream end all be all, Colorado's not the answer. and it's simply
hit me.
It's simply weather related, nothing else. No, politics, all that shit. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I would go live in La Jolla, California.
Oh, that's a good one, man.
Went there. Oh man. Probably about 15. No, I'm sorry. Probably about 13 years ago. I won a contest for work, and the winner got a long weekend it was like the first weekend. It was Super Bowl weekend that year. So end of January, early February. I was working for Stir Crazy at the time, and our owner had a condo on the coast in La Jolla. Like right on the ocean. And the winner got a weekend in his condo. And probably the most relaxing, non-stress, gorgeous weekend that I can remember. I mean, it was, like I said, late January, early February. It was probably the high of maybe 70. So it was a little on the cooler side for that time of year, but just being able to walk the beach and still, enjoy the water a little bit. I mean, you could, walk in it. We didn't go swimming or anything like that, but just the sunset, the being able to, eat restaurants with the windows open, you could feel the breeze, you could see the boardwalk, all that stuff. I just thought that was like heaven on earth, man. I thought that place was outstanding.
You are not wrong. La Jolla is chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Perfect. Really, Southern California is amazing. Oh. The weather is always fantastic. So I've been to La Jolla a few times. The best breakfast burrito I ever had was from a place called the Goldfish Point Cafe, I think it was.
Okay.
And another FOJ fun fact is where I proposed to my wife 20 years ago.
Okay.
Coming up here. So on the Coastal Walk Trail, are some park benches that overlook the sea.
Yeah.
And so I'm very familiar with La Jolla.
Very nice.
Kind of near the Sea Cave, if you kind of know where that is. Like Goldfish Point is kind of like the area.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, really enjoyed our time there, and we'll definitely go back at some point. Definitely need to do that. As far as international goes, years ago, my mom and dad took a trip to Australia and could not say enough about how awesome it was. And I feel like
where in Australia?
They went all over. They did time in Sydney. They went to Melbourne. They did a couple days in New Zealand. But I feel like living in that part of the world, kind of similar to here, but without the bullshit. You don't get all, at least from what I could tell, you don't get all the noise. You don't get all the, the crime isn't nearly what it is here, or, a lot of other places. The politics aren't what they are everywhere else. It just, Australia, according to my mom and dad who spent 3 weeks there, it's like its own little world, and it just is away from everything. I could handle that. I think that would calm my nerves. Not that I'm a nervous guy, but I think I'd be able to relax a lot easier living in a place like that. So Australia.
So I've never been to Australia. It has been a bucket list item. Here's why I need to go there and experience it for make a decision. But they have huge fucking spiders there, and I am not about that.
That's fair.
I do not want to be like, in the corner of a room, there's a spider the size of my head. Nope, thanks. I am not interested whatsoever in any of that. And for that reason, I'm out. Sharks. So, I feel like it's a very cool country. I actually did a report on 8th grade, so my report is 40 years old at this point, but it seems cool. I definitely want to go there and visit, and hopefully I'll get out there in the next couple of years as I kind of do more global travel.
Sure.
But it also strikes me as the wildlife is actively trying to kill you at any given point between the different species of animals and snakes and spiders. And like I said, I am not interested whatsoever in that.
Yeah. I mean,
I will go to Sydney. I will go to Melbourne.
Yeah, I would,
and check it out, but I don't know if I'd.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'd live out in the country, but like along the coast, like I think Sydney would be awesome, or in that general area. Melbourne's the same thing. But just for me, I think living on the water or very near access to a beach of some sort, or just coastline or something like that, I just think would be awesome. So I would want to see Australia before I actually made the decision, but based on anything else that I know or have any firsthand knowledge of, that's where I'd want to go.
All right. Those are pretty good choices for sure. I think I'm with you domestic on, I'll just call it Southern California.
Yeah.
I think there are so many amazing places that are like,
100%.
Again, I think it's the best weather in the US.
Yes.
I'm not gonna take changing climate into this. I think it's fine for right now. Another 50 years, who knows?
Right.
But whatever. I think Southern California has the hands down the best weather in all of the US.
Yeah, I go as far down as San Diego.
So I would definitely
go down as far down as San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I love San Diego. Any chance I get out to go out there is I am all about making trips out there, and I've stayed in downtown San Diego several times. Their baseball park is in the middle of the downtown.
Yeah.
And so I've actually been to it. You can walk into it. You can kind of catch the game outside of it. They have a park that sits behind the stadium that is open to the public. And so even if you're not at the game, you can still kind of be at the game, if that makes sense. You can't see anything. But it's like literally downtown San Diego is, here's the baseball field.
Yeah, I remember, and I know it's been devastated with, recent events and things like that, but even parts of LA, or at least they used to be, who knows what shape they're in now, but there are some parts of LA that are beautiful, off the coast and things like that. And, as you travel up the, what is the highway? Is it Highway 101 or Highway 1 or whatever the hell?
Yeah, something like that.
Because you just go up the coast.
Or the 5.
Yeah.
It's like goes back and
the
forth.
405, I think it's what,
5 and 805 is like, bypass like that. But that's always the weird thing about California is they call it the 5 or the 101 or whatever. It's like that's definitely a California thing.
My cousin lives in Santa Cruz, if you know where that is. It's up towards Monterey, San Jose, that area. So not all the way up towards San Francisco.
I'm actually going to be in San Jose in a couple months.
Okay. She lives in Santa Cruz, grew up there, and I've been there. I went a few times as a kid. I haven't been there in years, but that area is also fantastic. The weather, it's just, again, I don't know if it's the chef's kiss that La Jolla is, but it's pretty dang close. So anywhere up,
it's kind of hard to beat California weather. I know it's expensive and blah blah blah, but you get what you pay for. Weather is a big part of that.
100%. So I'd love to get there. So that'd be cool.
Okay. Well, I'm with you on Southern California. International, man, I really liked Amsterdam.
I know you did.
I want to go to Norway and Sweden and Denmark and kind of check out Scandinavia because I feel like I'm going to kind of like that a little bit more.
Sure.
But right now, Amsterdam is the top of my list. I would move there tomorrow if I could.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
I think I put Norway and Sweden and Finland, that area, kind of
Scandinavian countries,
in the same realm as Australia, and the fact that you never hear about it. It's kind of outside of all the bullshit. It's kind of outside of all the. It's like their own.
The highest satisfaction of people in the world come from Norway, Sweden, and Finland area. I think Norway and Sweden and Denmark tend to be like the top of like of all the lists, right? Of like best countries and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. Also, the highest taxed, which it seems to me like they're getting money. Whatever they're paying in taxes, they feel like it's worth it. Which
they don't bitch about it.
All anybody really wants is right.
Right.
So, like the luxury tax to bring an automobile in is like 100%. And so if you don't buy a car in, I think Denmark, someone was telling me this when I was in Berlin, someone who was from there, is like it's prohibitively expensive to bring in a vehicle that's not from, I think it was Denmark.
Interesting.
So can you imagine you spend $50,000 like for a car? Oh no, you also have to pay another $50,000 tax.
So it's really $100,000. Wow.
Exactly. Crazy. But those taxes are going for something. People seem to be really happy in those areas. They also have an interesting, I think it's a law, I don't know which country it is, where if you get a speeding ticket, it's not a flat amount. It's a percentage of your income.
Really?
Which could be very expensive.
Could be.
Depending on your income.
No doubt.
Which I think is really interesting because a lot of people argue that a fine is really a tax, not a tax. It's a rule for lower income people because they can't afford it. So let's say you get a speeding ticket for $100 and maybe that is a day's worth of work for you.
Sure.
Or 2 days, or maybe it's an hour's worth of work.
Right.
Depending on what you do for a living, right? If it was a percentage of your income, you would probably be a lot more cognizant of speeding.
I would see that
somebody who is driving around a Lamborghini is like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's a huge deterrent.
$100 is
of speeding for sure. But the other side of that argument is, okay, it's the same offense. Is it fair that I get busted more than, say, another guy who did the exact same thing wrong that I did? So,
that's also true. Do the rules apply to both of you? Yes, they should. Should the impact of breaking the rule be similar?
Should the punishment?
Maybe, probably, right? It should hurt just as much if I'm paying a $5 fine versus a $5 million fine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the extremes of it for sure. But if this is long been said, right? A fine is a poor people's rule, not a rich person's rule, because a rich person can afford to pay a fine.
Well, again, they must be happy with it because people love living. The people that live there love it. So it works.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to go check it out. Hopefully I get to there next year because I think I'll probably be going back to Berlin again next summer. But yeah, I think it's cool. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've not been there yet, but that was another one that's kind of on the list. As I love what I saw from the airports of Japan.
Okay,
which is really kind of weird to say. It was just such a clean, respectful, polite culture, which really kind of got me. So I was like, I want to know more about this.
All I know is I've obviously never been there. My sister's been there. My dad has been there. And if you go to Tokyo, it's crowded as all hell. There are people everywhere. But
I think it's the largest metro area of any city in the world. It is stunningly massive. Like I've been in New York City, I've been to Paris, London, and there are definitely sprawl. Chicago is tiny compared to those cities.
Sure.
And you fly into Chicago, it's like, oh my gosh, this is everywhere, right? Tokyo is just a completely different level, man. I mean, just crazy how much urban sprawl that they have there.
But like you were saying, it's clean. The people don't mess with each other. There's not a whole lot of problems there. Like you said, a lot of respect for others and things like that.
Well, I'm sure they're out there. The Yakuza probably is still a thing. So.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, like it's I think it's part of the culture is it is more of a community-based culture, which is also kind of why I liked Amsterdam quite a bit. Was it seemed kind of like, hey, this is for the good of the city versus just kind of individual gain, which was kind of refreshing.
Nice.
I won't say it's perfect, but it was definitely a positive experience.
Nice. Well, there you go. But
all right, that was my list.
Yeah. Well, I can't say enough about La Jolla. I go back there, and if we had to leave in 5 minutes, I would go. Let's put it that way.
Let's go, man. Yeah. Let's do it.
So yeah.
La Jolla's pretty sweet. Yeah, and I'll be in San Jose and Monterey. I think at the end of August and beginning of September. The in-laws live out in Monterey now, and so we're going out for I think it's 80th or 85th birthday party.
Nice. My mom's mom lived in Monterey for a long time, and it was gorgeous up there. Awesome. So, here's a fun fact for you. What the hell? I forget the town, but there's a town not far from Monterey where my grandmother lived. That was the mayor for a long time was Clint Eastwood. And I forget what the town was called.
Was he talking to empty chairs at that time too, or is that just a recent development?
Maybe. Let's go to the Google and
the Google. If only we had a device that had all of the sum of human knowledge.
I know, right? I should know this. Carmel, California. He was the mayor there for quite a while. Actually, his first time he was mayor there, it was 1986. And Carmel, very wealthy town, but of only 4,000 people. So,
okay. Well, I live in a town of about 2,000 or 3,000 people. So
there you go.
That's fine.
Clint Eastwood is 95 years old. I did not know that.
He's an old man.
Yeah. And still working, like acting and directing and so he was mayor of Carmel for 2 years, 86 to 88.
Jeez. Small town mayor. I don't know if I want that job. You wear a lot of hats as a small town mayor.
You do. Yes, you do. So,
yeah.
So what do you think of, did you hear this? Totally different subject here. The drummer of Pearl Jam, Matt Cameron, after 27 years, is suddenly leaving the band. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, you texted me this. Yeah, you texted me earlier in the week about this. And my response back to you, I think I was on a flight
that's right.
to New York or something. When you texted me, I was like, who are they going to get to replace it? And then I sat there and thought, I was like, who gives a shit? Nobody goes to Pearl Jam to see the drummer. I mean, congrats on him on having like a great career or whatever, but nobody goes to Pearl Jam to see the drummer.
It's so funny because
he's not Dave Grohl.
No, he's not. And ironically, the Foo Fighters got rid of their drummer about a month or two ago. And the rumor was Matt Cameron's leaving Pearl Jam to join the Foo Fighters, and why he would do that, I don't know. But I saw a comment on Facebook was because Pearl Jam's been through like 4 or 5 drummers, and they're like, why can't that band keep a drummer? And I'm like, he was the drummer for 27 years, man. I mean,
that's a long run, man.
Yeah. And he's
just get AI to do it. That'll be fine.
There you go.
Get an AI drummer, you know.
Yeah. Just make him look like Matt Cameron and make it look like he never left the band. But I mean, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as Pearl Jam's drummer. He's about to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame again as Soundgarden's drummer, because he was their drummer for 11 years prior to Pearl Jam's being Pearl Jam's drummer.
That's a pretty good run.
Yeah. If you Wikipedia Matt Cameron, and I know not everything is, Wikipedia is not, the end all be all, but talk about a drumming career. That guy's drummed on everything. He's played a lot of drums over the years, but it's just interesting because it really hasn't come out as to why he's suddenly, like, this came out of nowhere. So it's just kind of a shock.
That's like Forrest Gump, right?
A shock to the music.
He's been running for all those years, and he just decides to stop running. He's like, oh, I think I'm going to go home now.
Yep.
I'm tired. Think I'm going to go home now. All right, cool, man.
But
see ya.
Yeah. But hey, shout out to Matt Cameron, 27 years with Pearl Jam. Yay.
Yeah. Like I said, cool. Who cares?
I hear you. All right, Jeff. I get it. You don't care. You just.
It's not that I don't care. It's just that
care.
It for me to care would mean that it was even on my radar, and it was so far off my radar, it was undetected, that unless you had told me, I would not have even known about it. I'm probably.
That's fair. I was trying.
That's just me. I mean, I'm not a big Pearl Jam fan anyway, but nobody's going to Pearl Jam to see the drummer. They're going to see Eddie Vedder.
You're not a Pearl Jam guy.
It's fine. Their first, I like the Versus album and Vitology, and I think that's pretty much it. Anything at past Vitology is just don't really care for it.
I could see that. I'm not saying I'm a diehard Pearl Jam fan, but I'll admit, I think as their careers moved along, their music to me has become less and less interesting, if that's fair.
Yeah. And I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Now, I like the Vitology album itself. What I absolutely hated and detested was the actual format of the CD that it came in the stupid bullshit paper.
Oh God, yeah.
Thing that it was in. It'd fuck up my CD tray. It just didn't fit right.
It didn't fit anything. Oh, yes. Yeah, I hated that crap.
It was supposed to be like a vinyl kind of throwback thing.
Yeah.
Give me the jewel case so it fits in all my other CD, carriers and racks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But
like the album, hated the presentation.
I agree with you on that, but the plus side for them, you always knew where to find it.
Oh yeah, it stuck out like a store thumb.
That's right.
But it also got worn out really easy, and I'm not gonna say anything more.
I probably still have it on my shelf of I don't know, 300-400 CDs that I still own here in the basement that are just collecting dust. That I haven't listened to a CD in probably a couple of ever since Metallica's new CD came out, because what is it? I think Jen and Tony Garpolo got it for me for my birthday. So I actually listened to it on CD, but that was 3 years ago, their latest album came out. So I haven't listened to a CD since then.
I don't think I have a device capable of playing a CD in my house.
I have an
wait, the Xbox. No, because my Xbox I think has a disk drive.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing that might be able to play a CD. And I don't even know if they can play CDs or not. I have 0 CDs in this house. I have not bought an album in 20 years. 10 years.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't tell you the last CD I bought.
It's all streaming.
Yeah.
It's all streaming for me. So however long that I've been using Apple Music or Spotify or things like that, it's been at least a decade, and I definitely have not bought a CD.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
And before that, it was borrowing it from my friends on the internet through Kaza or LimeWire or
Kaza.
Napster
Wow.
or things like that.
Yeah. I remember Kaza and
constantly fighting off viruses and things like that would be on malware. Oh,
yeah,
God,
it would just destroy your computer and all that stuff. And I remember LimeWire. I remember that. I also remember getting CDs and cassette tapes on, what was it? You'd like send a penny to like BMG or Columbia House.
Columbia, was it
Columbia House?
Or something like that?
And all of a sudden,
Columbia House.
20 cassette tapes or 20 CDs would show up in the mail. I remember,
and you could never cancel it. They would just keep showing up and charging.
I remember falling for that deal when
you'd be obligated, right? Is like you'd have to buy like a certain amount to get out of the deal.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's there used to be places you could take your CDs and they would buy them for like $2 or $3 each. I don't even know if those places exist anymore.
Yeah, was it Play It Again or something? No, there was like Disc Replay. I remember when I moved once in Chicago,
there was Disc Replay.
I probably had 400 or 500, and just said,
take what you
buy these from me.
Yeah,
and they bought like 2/3 of them. I think another third are probably in my stepmom's house in her attic, probably still 20 years later in Chicago somewhere.
Yeah, I think
so. They're probably collectibles. I don't know.
I think there was a Play It Again something. It was in Downers Grove by the Home Run and Pizza that used to be over there.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a lot of CDs.
I think that was one of the places I took. It was that place and a place in Naperville by the Fox Valley Mall. The only music item that I have in my house is I still have the Metallica Live Shit Binge and Purge. The videos.
Yes.
I have the VHS tapes. I have no VHS player. And I don't know. I have to look and see. It's buried in a box somewhere. I don't know if I actually had the double album in there or not. The CD player. The CD.
I can tell you that I could actually walk probably about 10 feet and go get the VHS tapes of Live Shit Binge and Purge and then walk over.
Do you actually have a VHS player?
We, believe it or not, yes, we have one. I don't know if it works, but we do have one upstairs in our bedroom in a closet. I don't know.
Not only do I not have a VHS player, I don't think I have a TV that could take a VHS input with that RCA red, white, yellow connector.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I have one of those.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
I definitely do not have a TV that has those ports.
Yeah, I could do it. If I have if the VHS player worked, I could get it. And I also have an old DVD player that will play CDs that I actually have hooked up to my stereo down here. Because I still have one of those old stereo receivers that's hooked up to the TV down here that works. It works great. Because it also gives me the surround sound to the television down here. So I can, CDs, DVDs. Yeah, I can do all that. So it's cool.
All right. Well, still in keeping with tradition, Jay's house is the place to be after work. Go listen to our CDs and watch our VHS movies and snack and joke. And, I'm sure some people will be having cocktails right throughout the evenings or beers or whatever it might be. Ice House and Bud Light, probably.
Ice House, yes.
I think Killian's Red was probably making an appearance here and there as well.
Here's what a dork I am. So in this basement, I have where my office is, where I'm sitting right now. I have a TV with surround sound here, and then behind me, you can see my thumb. If you go straight back, there's like a divider that just kind of hangs there. But on the other side of that, there's 5 TVs in there. So like when we're watching football or whatever, but there's also surround sound in there. So I have 2 different sets of surround sound down in this basement. And right now,
so you should take an experiment and be like some white noise and gray noise and like point them at each other and see if they cancel out or cause your head to explode. One of the two.
Right now, it's the poker room. It's where my son and his friends go in there and they have the card table set up, and God, they could fit like 8 of them in there playing poker, watching basketball, watching football, watching whatever. That's usually what goes on there. But I got a couple couches in there. And when I really want to just zone out and, my alone time, I go hang in there. It's dark, it's quiet. I can watch whatever the hell I want and just chill. So
how do you manage the remote control situation for that? If you got 5 different TVs.
Well, so 3 of them they're all Roku. Okay.
3
of them are the built-in Roku. So that's the problem. You got to like point one remote.
I was gonna say,
way to the right. You got
to be very specific. You got to be a sniper with the
way to the right.
Control.
Point one way to the left. If you want to change the situation in the middle. Now, the one that's in the middle is the one that's hooked up to the surround. Everything else I usually keep on mute because that's the one you're focused on. So if you want to change that one, you got to walk right up to it and put the remote like right up against the screen so it doesn't hit the other two. Now I've got two on top of that are not Roku ready because they're older TVs, but they have the Roku boxes attached to them. So with those, I can use the different Roku remote and just point to it and it's good. And it doesn't disrupt anything else.
So how about using the Roku app on your phone?
I need to,
and then just selecting the device.
Yes, I need to
spend
some
just
time.
Make sure you have them all labeled correctly.
Yeah, I need to spend some time with that and program all that. But I will tell you, I was inspired by, and it's not anywhere near what you would go and see in like some professional area, but we were at a work meeting in the Potawatomi Casino in Milwaukee last year.
You saw the sports book?
Saw the sports book. There was like 8 different, now granted the screens are like, 500 inches or whatever, the big, large screens. I remember watching 8 different sports. I think there was NBA, there was WNBA, there was football, whatever. And I said to one of my coworkers, I'm like, I need this. I need this in my house. So I came home and I'm like, all right, how can I get...
You started scavenging TVs from everyone's rooms.
I had 2 of them and I bought 3 of them. So I have 4, I think 4, and they're not big, just a 32 inch, they're fairly small. And then I've got a 50 right in the middle. In between the brackets, the TVs themselves, based on what I already had, and then what I had to add to it, I don't know. I spent like $400. It wasn't really that big of a deal to set up. And then I added the surround to it, and it's been awesome. When it's football season, it's a blast.
That's cool.
I had to get...
I feel like that would be too much for me. Like, how do you...
Like sensory overload? Yeah.
How do you pay attention? Yeah, how do you pay attention to that many games?
Well, it's hard. I just think it looks cool having them on.
Oh, I'm sure it looks cool as hell.
What's nice is like in September or early October, you can have football on the bottom 3, and then you got the baseball playoffs on the top 2. So when you're watching different sports, it's really good if you're a college football fan because there's college football everywhere. So if you're watching that kind of thing, and my son and his buddies are gamblers, so it's good for them. They're you want to talk about sports bets? They're into that. So it's good for them.
And you're retired from that at this point still,
right?
Oh,
yeah.
You're retired from your baseball betting?
I am for now. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just fun. It's like, just my part of the house. I mean, I'll be honest, Michelle doesn't come down here. She never comes down here. She doesn't like to come into the basement unless there's a weather situation going on. So, this is like my spot. And I'll admit it's kind of a mess, but I don't care. It's my area, whatever. It's fun. A lot of fun.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Dig it.
I don't know how we got on that subject, but
I don't know how I could watch that many things. I don't know how we got there either, but I just think of like so many different TVs. I could barely pay attention to one.
Like I said, a lot of times I just like having it on in the background because a lot of times I'll be buried in my phone doing something.
You have 5 TVs.
Yeah.
You said you have 5 TVs.
Yes.
So you have 0 excuses to be able to power through any number of series and just load up.
Yeah, but I can't watch them.
Episode 1, 2, 3.
I can't watch them all at the same time.
Yeah, you could watch something like that.
What you
could speed run Game of Thrones, 5 episodes all going at once.
I could have Game of Thrones on one of them. I could have The Bear on one of them. I could have
The Bear. I gotta finish that one too.
what is it?
Andor.
You
finished Did you finish Andor?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Marvel
movies. You could get like
movies,
through
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
I could put all the 90s, the 5 90s movies that I just mentioned. I could put those on there. Yeah, no,
exactly.
Right.
And you don't even need to pay attention. You just jump from one to one, as your different scenes. Like, I feel like this is underutilized for just sports.
It really is
doing so much more.
In theory, it really is. In fact, dude, I'm such a freak show. I have 8 working televisions in my basement.
That's a lot of TVs.
Yeah. So I got the 5 on the TV wall. I got the 1 here in my office. I have 1 that is by our exercise equipment that I rarely use. And I've got an old big screen that is kind of beat up, but it still works. That is lined up with our treadmill. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I could watch TV doing anything down here, just so you know.
Seriously, you have 0 excuses now for catching up on anything.
I know.
All right, I'm tired.
I
got to drive like 5 hours tomorrow. So
it is 10:05. So yeah, and it's 11:05 for you.
I've been going here for 2 hours. So I'm done talking to you, man. I'm going to bed.
I feel you. All right, likewise.
I'm done with you. Now scram. Money's on the dresser. Now scram.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. Yes.
See? There you go.
90s.
So many quotes. Yep.
All right, man.
We'll have a good week. I'm sure we'll text probably at some point, and then same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Awesome.
All right, dude.
Sounds good.
Take it easy.
Peace.
Bye.
See ya.